Okay, YouTube, we just got the oil changed in this thing. I'm going to talk about a couple upgrades that I've done and one that I'm getting ready to do. One of them is these. So I've got 430 watt KC daylighters, 2 spot beams, 2 spread beams. Those are wired to the upfitter switches that are inside the truck. When you order one of these trucks, I highly recommend that you get it with the upfitter switches. That thing is so easy to hook things into. The way I've wired those, so I've got my 2 relays here. I've got the spot beams on switch number 1, the spread beams on switch number 2, and then the relays themselves are triggered by the high beam stalk inside the truck. So what that means is I can turn on 1 or 2 or 1 and 2, either combination of, and then the lights will not come on until I turn the high beams on. So I have people ask me, like, why do you have those on the front of your truck? Those are stupid, whatever. I make some trips out to Colorado a couple times a year. This is what we drive out there. Those things paid for themselves first trip. If I wouldn't have had those on there, I would have smoked a big muley going over La Vita Pass. On the way back, I ran through 6 or 7 whitetails that, had I not had those lights on, I would have ran them through the front of the truck. So I know there's a lot of guys that they put the big bumpers and brush guards on and whatnot, and then if they hit one, it doesn't do as much damage. But I'd rather not hit one. I'd rather not run the risk of tearing anything up underneath my truck. Even if the bumper saves the front, you still run the risk of tearing everything up underneath or having it come up the hood. So the only drawback to these, they draw a lot of power. For me, I don't care. I've got 1 alternator there. Let's see if you can see it down there. And then the other alternator there. That's a factory option in these. It's 2 220 amp alternators. I've also got 2 1000 cranking amp batteries. So those 4 little bitty lights aren't going to do much as far as power draw. I've had people ask me why I didn't go with LEDs. Well, for the money, those halogen bulbs project further than most of the LED light bars out there, LED lights. LEDs have their place. They're great for lighting up a wide, fairly close area with lots of bright light. I wanted to be able to see a long ways down the road, so that's why I went with the 4 KC Daylighter halogens. I wanted to buy the HIDs, but at $1,200 a pair, that was a little spendy. So halogens it was. I may upgrade to the HIDs at some point. Now on the back of my truck, I added those. So those are KC Daylighter LED flush mounted recessed mount lights. I had a buddy of mine that owns Midwest Metal Finishing and Powder Coating. If you guys need anything powder coated, I would definitely look him up. He stripped the black powder coat off, coated them white so they'd match my truck. But I use those typically when I'm hooking up to that camper. My driveway kind of sucks, so when I'm backing up or down it at night, those lights really help out. Those are wired into switch number 3. So the other upgrade that I'm going to do is I put a block heater in this truck this winter when it was about 2 degrees outside. I froze to death putting it in, but anyway, got this cord hanging down and I hate it. So I picked this little gem up. Actually, I got it on eBay. I think it was about $20, maybe 22. Made by NOCO. What this is, it's a flush mounted receptacle with a pretty tight fitting weatherproof plug, and then it's just got a cord, you know, I don't know, maybe a foot long cord. See if I can get this pulled out without making everybody sick here, shaking the camera. Oh, it's still got a wire tie on it, that's why. Okay, so cord length, I'm gonna say it's about 18 inches or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill an 1.5-inch hole right here in the plastic in the front bumper. Make sure there's nothing behind it first. And then I'm going to flush mount that plug in it and hook my block heater up to it, and then I won't have this crap hanging out of the front of my truck. So I'm going to do that right now. See if I can get it done before it gets much darker. I'll show you guys a picture of what it looks like when it's done. Okay, rather than showing you what it looks like when it's done, I figured some people may want to watch this process, I guess. So I'm going to try to do this all one-handed. It should be pretty easy. I've already checked behind here. There's a nice big opening there, so it ought to fit in there without any issues. This thing would be great if any of you guys have boats or something with a battery tender in it and get tired of pulling the cord out. You could mount this thing in a panel, and then you just got to flip that cap open and plug it in. So mark center. I'm gonna go ahead and drill a little pilot hole. This is plastic, it'll go easy. And then well, now I gotta set the camera down and change bits. Well, hang on, YouTube. Okay, so threw the Lennox 1.5-inch hole saw in. Happened to be the same saw that I used for my lights in the back bumper, so at least I didn't have to go buy a new one. There it is. There's a hole. So from some friends of mine, they freak out whenever I drill a hole in my truck. Like, man, that's an expensive truck. You're drilling holes in it. I don't care. It's just a truck. I bought it to drive it. If I'm gonna drive it, I want it to be the way I want it. So holes it is. Okay, well, I gotta change bits again. Well, let's see if this thing fits in there first. Better fit. I already drilled a hole in my truck. Oh, perfect. Oh, this thing was supposed to come with screws. That sucks. Now you need to go find screws. I thought they were in it. Maybe I lost them. Oh well. Alright, well, you get the gist of it. I'm going to drill 2 more holes, put some screws in it, pull this cord that's up here back down through there, put some silicone around this so it's weather tight, plug them in, tie them up, make it pretty. Right now the bottom of my truck doesn't look very pretty. Let's change the oil. Tried the oil filter bag trick. Yeah, that sucked. Got oil everywhere, so I won't be doing that again. I'll just be putting cardboard down. But on the plus side, the tie rod end's not going to rust. So, alright, I'm going to go find some screws, get this thing finished up. Okay, so there it is mounted. In case you're wondering, yes, those are 1.25-inch, of course, they're drywall screws. That's all I could find. But I put them in with my snap-on screwdriver. At some point I'll change those. I'll probably put some machine screws on with lock nuts on the back with some washers. I'm sure there'll come a time that I'll be in a hurry. I'll grab that extension cord and just yank it out of there. I don't really want to yank that out of my front bumper. But you can hate on me all you want for using drywall screws. One thing I've learned, haters are going to hate. It doesn't matter what you use. I could put platinum, gold-plated, whatever, made from NASA screws in that, and there would still be someone that would hate on it. So drywall screws it is for now. I'm going to get to wiring this up and get my wires tied up. Should be finished. Quick update. It's installed. No more wire hanging out the front. This will be a lot better when I plug in. Plus going through car washes and whatnot. And that, I just didn't like having that cord hanging down. So, also on an update, Get some light over here. Found my screws. Of course I did after I got done. So there's the 3 screws that came with the kit. I think I'm still going to use machine screws and that thin plastic with some washers on the back. So, but yeah, screws came with it. Also, for anybody with the Cummins, this is a 2014. If you're trying to get to your block heater, I know there's a lot of people that are looking for these. That block heater is right up there behind the oil filter. Now, it's my understanding that Cummins sends every engine they manufacture out with a block heater in it. Dodge, or Ram now, still Dodge, they just don't put the cord on it. So you can order the cord from Dodge or Mopar or whatever, or you can just probably pick it up at your local auto parts store. I would suggest doing it at your next oil change. I put this one in with the oil filter still in. That was in the winter time, like I said, when it was about 2 degrees, and it sucked getting that cord on there. You almost need 2 wrists on one arm, an extra elbow, 6 fingers. You got to stand on your head. I was laying across the top of the engine down here. I suppose if I had taken the air filter assembly out, it probably would have made it easier, but I wasn't going to do that. It's too cold, so I fought it. But if you're curious, your block heater is right there behind the oil filter. So if you can squeeze your little paws up in there and get it started on there, and there's 2 wire, or there's, the way the plug's set up is it's 2 little sockets in a big, or I say big, use that term relatively. It's about a 3/4 inch diameter rubber plug, and then it's got 2 probably 3/16 diameter sockets that fit on some pins that are in the block heater. So you got to get it oriented just right and then shoved in place, and there's an aluminum knurled nut that has to screw down onto the block heater that retains it. So doing all that while reaching up through that hole, kind of a pain, but regardless, it can be done. You just have to have a little patience, hold your mouth just right. Now you can see my mess that I made too, trying that oil filter and the bag trick. That, like I said earlier, that didn't pan out. So next time it's just going to be a big piece of cardboard. We yank the filter off, and whatever happens, happens. So anyway, if there's anything else anybody would like to know about my truck, or what I'm going to do next, I'll probably do another video. At some point I got to add some steps. They keep making these trucks taller and taller. I don't know if they're working their way up to build monster trucks or what, but I've got some friends that complain about it every time they try to get in my truck, telling me I need to put steps on it. But my philosophy is, it's my truck. I guess if they want me to have steps on them, they'll buy them for me. But at some point I'll probably put some steps on it, just so I don't have to listen to everybody gripe about it. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That thing, awesome, must have. Much better than having a cord hanging out the front. These, I use them all the time. So hate on the old daylighters if you want, they work. I mean, they've been around for years and years. They just work. In case anybody's wondering, yes, I do have my license plate covered up. I didn't feel like broadcasting my license plate number to the world and all the internet creepers out there. So anyway, hope everybody has a good night. I'll try to make some awesome crane videos soon.